Hello, everyone. Patriot 5 here with Patriot 6. Sorry I'm late. I lost track of time. I did not realize it was this late. I seen Linda was the first one on tonight. Linda and me, we exchanged some messages today like we do every day. And we're here tonight. I have no idea why. I'm serious, guys. I'm not trying to. I don't know if I've got anything. I know we have the small call information, the whole 5 minutes and 6 seconds. We have some other things. We have something I want to talk about on our Telegram site that someone posted, and we'll do the best we can. That's all we can do. Hello Valerie, hello Janet, hello Papa G, Beth, hello One Voice, David Duffy, General Lee's here, Papa G's here, Soretta's here. If I missed anybody, I'm sorry. I'll try to catch you as the night goes on. But I'm going to start off by doing a pledge, and then I'll do the music and talk to the kids, and then we'll get into the show and see what we can put together tonight. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
If tomorrow all the things were gone, I'd work for all my life, and I had to start again, just my children and my wife. I thank my lucky stars to be living here today, where the flag still stands for freedom, and they can't take that away. And I'm proud to be an American, where at least I know I'm free. And I won't forget the men who died, who gave that right to me. And I gladly stand up next to you and defend her still today. 'Cause there ain't no doubt as long as God bless the USA. God bless the USA. From the lakes of Minnesota to the hills of Tennessee, across the plains of Texas, from sea to shining sea, from Detroit down to Houston, New York to LA, where there's pride in every American heart, and it's time we stand and say, oh, and I'm proud to be an American, where at least I know I'm free, and I won't forget the men who died, who gave that right to me, and I'm ready to stand up next to you and defend her still today. 'Cause there ain't no doubt of this land.
Yes, God bless the USA. I'm proud to be an American. And talking about that, I don't know how many of you have noticed I've been posting. I posted two of them. I did another one today. I'll post it later. Um, but they're going to be just like anything else. I have posted two videos that I've been doing on TikTok about what's going on. There are 10-minute videos. I did another one today. Today's was about um, the special beds, and I will post that later. But I'm only going to let them up for a couple of days, and then I'm going to take them down, guys, because I got to do something to slow things down. And I hope when I said what I said the other day, I didn't offend anybody. I didn't upset anybody. Hey, Myrna's here, and let's see who else. Ron's here. Bill Woods, David Duffy, Janet. I believe I already talked about you. But anyway, I'm going to do that. And I've been doing one a day. I'm enjoying doing them. I don't get a lot of hits on TikTok. I don't have a lot of followers on TikTok. I went there to promote, and if anybody wants to watch them and do that, they can do so. But like I said, today's was on special beds and that. But I want to start off talking with the kids. And, we talk about the kids so much, and we do things so much for them. And, I've watched a lot of shows, and we may not go down as the biggest group. We may not go down as the greatest group. We may go down as the group that's just people don't know much about, just a few people that come here. But what we will go back down is the group that can actually call themselves family. We go down as a group that always has something to say for the kids, about the kids, and show we love the kids. And I've never seen people. I mean, in my opinion, why other channels don't talk about the kids is because, see, there's no money in the kids when you talk on a show like this. A kid, if I talk about Jimmy, his dad's not going to send me money. If I talk about, all the other kids, I'm not going to get sent money. And it's a shame to say, it's really a shame to say, but that's what this industry of truthers has come to. Who can make the most money? Who can do this? Who can do that? And there's a truther out there that every time you turn around, he's under an NDA. But I look at Ron and I say, you know what? He's under an NDA, but watch. He's not going to disappear. He's going to be talking. He's going to be this. And he just does. He's like a cockroach. He won't go away. He doesn't want you. And now they're even telling people, we'll shut the site down if you keep bothering him. I could care less. I'm serious. I could care less. Or now another one, from down in the same country is shutting her site down because she's been threatened. Where do these people come up with all this stuff in their minds that they're saying things like this? Now, the one guy I'm talking about, he's been doing this. Guys, take it easy, because he's been doing this for 5 or 6 years, and it's been such a tough time. Well, what about Mark Z? What about the people like us that's been doing it for years and years and years and years? But we don't cry about it. We take a licking and keep on ticking. But, I just wanted to talk a little bit about that because it was on my mind. And I wanted to bring that up about things, and it's going to go into some other things I talk in the regular show tonight. But the kids, I spent my day today babysitting the little monkey. I got a message from my daughter yesterday. She was at school, and my daughter is also the little monkey's school teacher. And I got a message from her, and she says, "What you doing tomorrow?" What ya? Not what ya? And whenever my daughter asks me, "What you doing?" I know I'm going to be babysat. It's just, how the hat talks in code. That's my daughter's code for, "Hey, Dad, I really need you to babysit." And I got back and I said, "Which one of the kids am I babysitting?" Well, she sent me a picture, and the little monkey was She was running a fever in school. And as a teacher, my daughter wanted the little monkey to go to school the next day, today. So she made her 2 chairs pull together. She had a blanket in there and pillows, and she made her a little bed where all the rest of the kids are in their seats, learning what you learn in kindergarten. My little granddaughter, the little monkey's up sleeping. But my daughter's also very smart, and she got thinking, I'm going to the office and tell them what I'm doing. They was within like a half an hour of being out of school. That's why she didn't, call it quits for the day and see if someone could come in and sit with the rest of her class for the last half an hour or hour, whatever it was. So she was honest, and I get a video call from my daughter and the little monkey last night. And in the video call, she's laughing and she says, I'm feeling better now, Grandpa. I'm feeling better now. And tomorrow you get to watch me all day and we're going to have fun and we're going to snuggle and take a nap. And it just, and I get over there and I'm supposed to be over there today about 15 after 7. So my daughter can be out of the house by 20 after because she has to drop my other granddaughter, super gymnast, off. And I didn't even wake up. I didn't even get out of bed until 8 minutes till 7. I jumped up. I put on some clean clothes. I walked in. I turned the water on in the faucet. And I went, took a towel and wiped my face off. And I saw, wash up over there. Put some deodorant on. Headed over. At first, I had to come down and bring my little dog down, get Ron lunch ready, and put it in a cooler, feed my dog, feed Ron's cat, and then out of there. Now, I did all of this and drove what's normally a 20-minute drive to Clifton. I did all of this in 30 minutes. So I thought it was pretty good. And it ended with my daughter said, Dad, I can't wait no longer. I got to get going. She left right at 20 after, but they have a cell phone that they use for a home phone. And she had Addison call me, so we were talking. By the time my daughter left, my little granddaughter there, I'm talking to her. I was at the railroad tracks about a block and a half away from their house. But I'm teasing her because she's asking me, where are you at, Grandpa? Where are you at? And I'm telling her, and I'm acting like I'm still like 5 minutes away, 2 or 3 miles away. And all of a sudden, she said, well, you need to get here soon. And we're talking away, and she's doing most of the talking. And I said, well, look out the window. And she did, and all of a sudden, she comes running out, comes down the steps, runs out, gives me a big old hug, and we had a great day. But we had to go pick Liam up, Patriots 7. We had to go pick Liam up at the bus stop tonight at 5 after 3. I was going to let her play, but before we went, I took her temperature, and her temperature was 99.0, which is 4/10 up what it's supposed to be. So I give her medicine, and I wouldn't let her play at the park, which my daughter told me that was good, that she didn't want her to. I let Liam play there, and then my daughter picked Ella and Liam up at the park. So we had a great day, and Addison is telling me that we're going to have to do this a couple of times more, and when everything was over, she told her mom, she said, today's going to be a lot of fun because I babysat this little girl from the time she was born 2 and 3 days a week until she finally went to school. But now she's going to school full day. And she makes the statement, why don't I just go to school every other day and only for a half a day? And her mom says, Alice, this is what kindergarten is. You got to go 5 days a week, all day long. And she goes, I don't think I'm going to like this. So, it's amazing what little kids can do. Small Hank started school yesterday, and he's back into the swing of it. And little Kira's going to the babysitter now. But I've covered my 5 grandkids already. Then there's, Super Jimmy and um, Patriot 11, our little cowboy, Karate Kid, and Wyatt Earp, two little amazing boys to go along with Princess Our Queen, Haley, who I think I show how I feel about Haley. I mean, to me, she's just off the charts amazing, and I can't wait to actually meet her. Her brother Hunter, who when I meet him, I'm going to shake his hand, give him a hug, and tell him, hey, I didn't mean to slight you, but you got to go up against Haley, and that's just almost an impossible thing to do. You know, we have Boogs, Boogaloo, Boogaroo, and Boogie. The four B's, John's grandkids, and along with little Leona, little Leilon, and like I said, guys, be kids, enjoy. I mean, this right now, I don't know where you're at, like Gary and David and RP, Valerie, Bill, Janet, Lisa, you know, Papa G. I'm not remembering where all of you guys are from, but the thing is, the kids, wherever you're from, if you're getting weather like we're getting here in Illinois today, you should have been outside playing. As soon as you got off school, you should have did your chores and went outside and played. It's in the 70s here. It's supposed to get down in the 60s, and in a couple of days, it's supposed to get down in the 50s at night. And I love hot weather, but right now, going through what I'm going through, hot weather does not love me the way it used to. It couldn't get hot enough for me before, but now, yeah. But boy, I'm going to get on these beds, and I'm going to talk about these beds soon, because that was what my show was about today. And we're talking about them. It's when we think David and me and you and Janet, Carrie, Gary, all at one voice, all of us that's here, Ron. When we think about getting on these beds, we think, wow. But just think, kids, you're going to get on them. You're going to get on them. And I do want to clear up something while it's in my mind right now. I seen someone posted today that they, I want to talk about a post that was on our Telegram site in a few minutes. But remind me if I don't say anything about the beds and things about this post. It kind of bothered me, the negativity. But negativity is going to search into everything, especially now because guys are trying to get negativity in there. They're trying to see where we're at. Don't give in to it. I was disappointed. I got up very, very, I didn't have time to even go to the bathroom this morning. I was in such a hurry. But when I was able to relax, I checked my checking account. It's the same as it was the day before. No, actually, it wasn't, because they had taken out the payment for my electricity bill. But it is what it is, and we have to keep moving on. But kids, get out and play. If you got one of these, put it away. If you got a tablet, put it away. If you got a computer, put it away. Winter is just around the corner. And I hate to say this, because we're still in August. But the way this year is going, winter is just around the corner. Now, all you kids and everybody on this show, I talk about Julia, a girl in the Ukraine. And she wrote me a letter that she sent that I received on Thursday of last week. And she said, Ralph, I'm not going to be able to write you tomorrow, which we usually get letters Monday through Friday. But she said, I'm not going to be able to write you tomorrow because it was a holiday for them. It was called Good Friday. It's when the Greek Orthodox Church over there gives honor to all of the dead. It's more or less like Memorial Day here, but that's what it was. And it simply slipped her mind. So she said, where she goes to send the letters, the place wasn't going to be open, so she wouldn't send it. And I was thinking, wow, it seems like like a day ago that she wrote this. And now when I write her tonight and I get her letter tomorrow, we've only got one more this week. It's just going by. I don't like it that it's going by if it wasn't for the fact of the beds. But kids, just be kids. Go out and play, please. I would love for Grandma Jana, for John, for all the people that I talk to, that I talk about your kids and our kids. I would love for you guys to get with me and say, hey, Haley, I talked to Haley and said what you said, go be a kid. And she told me, I'm going to do it just, for this. You're going to have plenty of time this winter. You're going to be cooped up. Get your phones out, get your tablets out, get on your computers, have fun, watch TV. Watch TV. There was a point today that Addison was watching TV, and I looked at her once, and I walked in, I shut the TV off for a little bit. She said, "What are you doing?" I says, "We're just going to go out and sit at the kitchen table. You're going to color. We're going to do things. You don't need to be doing this." I couldn't let her go outside, but kids, just be kids. Now, as that concludes tonight's version of the kids show, I want to let everyone know that this video is not meant for children. You can watch it under the discretion of your parents, legal guardians, or grandparents. The music we played tonight is not, we have no legal rights to. We use it for entertainment purposes only, and that's it. So there's where we're at. But I have to say this to make sure I cover myself, because we have people that's watching, and if I don't say it, I get turned in, and then I get on the wrist. But anyway, what I wanted to talk about, guys, is negativity. And on our Telegram site, you're welcome to post your feelings, your stories, whatever. And there was a post today about someone who called their banker. And this banker has been in the business for 40 years. He knows everything about banks. And he was looking for a wealth manager. He said, I have currency. And I guess the banker went off and told him, get rid of get rid of it. It's no good. This is a lie and all of this. And well, that opened up a big discussion and brought a lot of negativity in. Some people were coming in and, well, maybe it's true, maybe it's not. My thing is, if you've been in this, as long as I know everybody on here, Sharon, Becky, and everybody, Papa G, if you really believe, because someone comes up and tells you that story, and I don't know who it was. I looked at the name of the person who posted. I didn't know who it was. But if you're going to believe stories like that, I'm going to tell you one thing. My opinion, the banker is probably one of those that's going to have a one-way ticket to where. Or he's going to lose his job. He's going to get arrested or something. Or their bank is going to get closed down, because if you do not comply to this, folks, you will be shut down and there will be consequences. Now, we have been talking about this and talking about this and talking about this. But then all of a sudden someone comes and posts something, and everything I work my royal behind off trying to get through to people, to get their vibrations up, to get them happy, to make them believe, to start planning what they're going to do with their money, to try to teach them, hey, you don't have to go out and buy the whole world just because you get a little money right off the bat. You got to go and you got to, take it easy. You want a new car? Go get yourself a new car. Go get yourself 2 new cars. If you're a married couple, you want a new house, get yourself a nice new house, starter house, because the money you're going to get, there may be something up in here that you have a dream home. My dream home is to have a bedroom in my house for every one of my grandkids, and they get to decorate it however they want. I want to have bathrooms everywhere. I want to have a bar, but that's my dream home. That won't happen until Julia comes over. But that doesn't mean that so I can fix the home that I'm living in now and just let my son have it, that I'm not going to look for something that I can buy, move into, and then when I get the time to build my dream home, once it's built, then somebody who needs a home, here you can have this one. And I'm serious, guys. I'm going to give away things, but you got to do it smartly. Now, if you have a lot of currency where money is going to be, you can't spend it all, And when you listen to Wolverine talk, with the bonds he has, the currency he has. Sounds like he's one of those people. Me and Ron and my brother Russ, we're pretty well off. I talked to Papa G, and me and him as we put up a plan that if we only get 10 cents on every dollar of currency we got, we're going to be nice off. But see, it's not just about that. I know there's a lady on here tonight. She has no currency. She doesn't believe in it. And that's fine. And I've never pressured her. I've never said anything that you should get it. You should get it. But you know what? She's still going to become very wealthy. And that's one of the things I was talking about, one of my videos that I did on TikTok. And I'm not going to cut TikTok down, guys, but I'm going to tell you that is a format that if you go and you look at my page, it says right on there, it's under Patriot 5 and Patriot 6 now. I took my name off. I took my picture off because I was getting tired of these girls following me. Now I'm 70 years old, 71 years old. What the heck do I need all these girls following me? And they would send me a message. I'd look at the message and say, honey, and they tell me who they are. Where do you live? How old are you? Where do you work? And how much money do you make? Well, it's none of your damn business. But it's like, and I had one send me a message the other day, honey, and she goes on and on and on, and she goes, what are you looking for here? I said, can't you read? It says right on there, I'm looking to spread the word of patriotism. Can you not read? If you can't, I'll read it for you. But it's just everywhere, guys. Social media can be the greatest thing. I was talking to a friend today, and they was asking me about, do you remember the days that you used to do a lot of home businesses? And I was an entrepreneur. As a matter of fact, I didn't get credit. And people might tell me I'm crazy, but there's a business out there called Amway. And it's one of the biggest network marketing businesses in the world. It has business everywhere in the world. They're overpriced and underproduced. But I joined it once and I got no help from my upline. I quit. Then after I got married, my sister-in-law invites me to a meeting. I go there and I want to get back in, because I could see that I was going to get no help from my upline from my sister-in-law and brother-in-law, but their upline was really special, and I knew that I would get it, and I knew that I could figure some way out to make money. So anybody familiar with Amway, their program used to be 6 people join under you. Now, why wouldn't people join? It's free to join. You get your kit, you get free products, and then they raised it to 25. But even at 25, the products that you got was worth it. And that being said, I joined and I was excited. And when I learned to do the meetings, which I already knew, but I wanted help from the upline, I wanted them to be there for me. But when I learned it, I'm sitting there and I'm good with numbers, guys. And I'm sitting there and I'm thinking, 6, 4, 2 of you, if I get 6, and I help them get 4, and I help them get 2, and we spend between, all of us, spend between $150 to $200 a month, I can make $1,800 a month. Now, guys, this was back when I first got married back in 85, 86, after I got married. So that was a long time ago. $1,800 a month as a part-time job was good money. But I go, the people only get 4 and the people only get 2. How the hell are they going to make any money? They can't do it. So I get this bright idea. If you get 6 and they get 6 and they get 6 and you only spend about $50 a month, each one of you make about $3,000. And man, I started doing meetings after meetings after meeting. And I had the fastest growing business in our whole organization. My upline, I was moving faster than them. I was doing this. I was doing all of my meetings. I mean, I was having 25 and 30 people show up at a meeting. If someone would book a meeting with me, they made sure they had at least 6 to 10 people, and usually they walked out with 6 or 10 signups. And it was growing and growing and growing. We started to make money. And then all of a sudden, my sponsor, my upline, the people that I trusted, showed up to one of my meetings and they seen me doing a 666. And they turned me into the company, and the company kicked me out because I did not have authorization. The company, the business, they was making money and making money. People were happy, and they threw me out. 6 weeks later, Amway went to the program 666. They didn't call me up and say, you want to come back? In the meantime, all the hundreds of people that I had put in under me and under all the people that came in under me, all of these people quit. In our area, Amway got a very, very bad name. But it is what it is, and you got to do what you got to do. You got to take the chances. See, because I believed, and that's what I'm saying here. I stand up here in front of you 3 nights a week. I'm here to answer questions on other places. I'm doing videos now on another station, bringing them over to the people. I'm going to start putting them on Rumble and maybe even putting them on Facebook also. But the whole bottom line here is I'm doing things to try to build people up. And then people are saying, I read today, someone made the statement, do you really think it's real? Why is it that only the people who have Zim get to get on the special beds? And that is not true. That is not true. The people who have Zim, who is going to be working the projects, like myself, when I go to the Redemption Center, I'm going to be able to go to the special beds. I will put Ron and a bunch of people. I think we can go up to 10. We can put as many animals. You know, it's funny. You can only go up to 10, but you can take as many animals up as you want. Well, my little dog over here will be going right away. But the 10, because the people that's going to work the projects, they want healthy. And the whole thing is once the money comes in, once the currency is announced and we're able to get our money for it, it doesn't matter if you have Zim or not. You're going to be able to go and everybody's going to get on them. Everybody's going to get on them. And that's what's going to make it great, because I should have waited on saying that, but just remember what I just said there. Everyone's going to get on them, because I got a couple things I want to talk about before I come back, because my video today on TikTok was about the beds. But I have a couple of other things that I want to discuss first before I move forward, if I can find it. And okay. I've read this a lot, and I'm going to read it again. This is about the big N and the big G. And we all know what that is. It forgives credit card, mortgage, and other bank debt due to illegal banking and government activities. It abolishes the income tax, abolishes IRS, creates flat rate, non-essential new items only, sales tax revenue for government, increases benefits to senior citizens, returns to constitutional law, establishes new presidential and congressional elections within 120 days after the Big N announcement, monitors elections and prevents illegal elections activities or special interest groups, creates a new treasury currency, rainbow currency, backed by gold, silver, and platinum precious metals, returns constitutional law to our courts and legal matters, initiates new U.S. Treasury Bank in alignment with constitutional law, eliminates the Federal Reserve System, restores financial privacy, retrains all judges, attorneys, in constitutional law, ceases all aggressive U.S. government military actions worldwide, establishes peace throughout the world, initiates first phase of worldwide prosperity, distribution of vast wealth, which has been accumulating for many decades, releases enormous sums of money for humanitarian purchases, enables the release of new technologies such as alternative energy devices. Now, I wanted to read that because I think we can't talk about that too much. Everything it's going to do, and that's going to all happen. It's going to all fall in place. And I wanted to read that tonight because, see, last Friday, our president, the Hat, and the Russian president met. But they also met with world leaders. And what come out of it was we have to put an end to what's going on in these two countries that's at war. Because as Bruce said last night, and I'm not going to mention Bruce a lot tonight because he didn't have a lot last night, but what he said, we cannot go further. We cannot do everything we want to do until we get all wars are end. Well, the way he said it, and if you didn't listen to him, I don't know why, because he's only a little over 5 minutes long. The show was an hour and 45 minutes, but his part was 5 minutes. But when he says we can't move forward until we are completely war-free, that is a major something to say, but it's the truth. But the way he said it, the one thing he left out is we cannot move forward with the big N and the big G. But he's making it look like we can't move forward, period. We can still move forward with Doge money, with senior citizens getting a little extra, with the quantum money, and we can move forward with the revaluation of the currency. But he wasn't saying that. Now, he did say there's no new news, but I truthfully believe Bruce took a call. He had some excitement in his voice early, but he took a call just about the time he was about ready to take center stage. And when he come back, he made the statement. It wasn't much of a call, but I had to say it anyway. My personal opinion, I think Bruce was told, as Barney Fife says, nip it in the bud. I really believe that. I believe he was told to stand down last night, guys, because I believe we're that close. One thing he did share with us, I talked about the Friday meeting with the world leaders, and these people are adamant. It's not just our president and Putin. It's not just that. The world leaders are wanting to get this done. And in saying that, then on Monday, our president and world leaders met with the other gentleman from the other country, with other world leaders. Bruce states in his call last night, it's done. He states that the war is done. I know I've listened to it 3 times. And he states this. Now, I was talking to Ron about it, and he said, well, I wouldn't tell Julia yet. And I said, I'll put it to her in a way that this is what we're hearing. This is what this guy said. Now, has this man been wrong before? Yes. But guys, you've had 2 major meetings with another one planned very quick soon. They're going to all meet very soon. But it's not just the Hat going in there, being a moderator and looking at these 2 guys and say it's going to get done. It is world leaders. So if one of them decides they're not going to do it, think of what's going to happen. This world leader that says we're not going to do it, there's going to be consequences. You're not just messing with 1 or 2 people now, one country going after them. You're messing with the world. And the world is ready for this to happen. I truthfully believe in my heart. Now, I'm not going to say this. I'm not going to look at you, David Duffy or Joe Phillips. I'm not going to look at you, Bill Woods or Papa G, Janet, Soretta, One Voice. I'm not going to sit here and say what I'm saying if I didn't 100% believe in it. And I think the way I am, you can hear it in my voice. I have been in a tremendous mood all week. And I've asked, and you guys, I don't hide the fact that I talk to God every day out loud. Today it was for about 20 minutes. But when I talk to him, I don't pray to him for certain things. I ask him for assistance, for help. I do my prayers when it's time. But I literally talk to him just like he would be sitting right here next to me now. And people will laugh at me and they'll ridicule me but yet then they'll go sit in church. They'll go sit in church and they'll listen to what their ideas of what Jesus and God is. You don't need somebody else's ideas what Jesus and God is. You need your own. You need to find him yourself. And that's what you need. And boy, I'm surprised I ain't getting a couple of amens here. But it's the truth, guys. When I started this, I started it because of a gentleman named Mike Lindell. And I listened to everything he's went through, and I'm thinking, wow, I never was a dope head. I never was a drug addict. But, in my life so far, 8 times, I've been told by doctors, medically speaking, I should be dead, but I'm still here and I'm stronger now. I mean, I walk 10 miles a day or more. I needed to be to my daughter's house in 28 minutes by the time I woke up this morning. Still had to change clothes, get dressed, and get out and come down to Ron's and do everything. And I missed it by 2 minutes. Somebody's on my side. Everything is speculation when it comes to dates. And if you notice, guys, I was just reading that. Do you ask yourself, do you think any girl is giving timing and procedures? It's all speculation. It is. And if you notice, most of the gurus are now going away from giving a time and a date. Why? One of the reasons why is because for some reason it was pulling the shorts up the crack of the Iraqians' rear ends. They was getting bent out of shape over this. Why? I don't know. But remember, and I hate this saying, but I'm going to say it anyway. Remember, guys, this is all a movie. I don't believe it anymore. I believe the movie should have ended a long time ago. I mean, me and Ron had popcorn again last night, and still I wake up with no extra money in my bank account. But it's going to happen. It only has to happen once. And that's what it is. Now, I want to go back to my show today earlier on the other channel that I posted on Telegram. But, I talked about the beds. And I talked about the beds. And I'm going to talk about something else briefly also. But the beds. I want to ask you a question. If you could have money in your account tomorrow and get on the bed in 10 years, would you accept the money or would you want to get on the bed? Or even a year. Or if you could get on the beds tomorrow, get completely 100% healthy, but you couldn't have money for 6 months. Which one would you choose? Me, I'm on the bed. Because it doesn't matter how much money I have. If I don't make it till I get it, I can have $1 trillion freaking dollars, but if my health fails me, it doesn't do me a bit of good. You know what it does? It makes my kids hate each other because they're fighting to see who's going to get the most. And it's a sad way to look at things. But if without our health, we're nothing. We have people on here that needs these beds so bad. Ron and myself need them. But there's, my grandson. My daughter's 3 kids have never spent a night at my house, as close as I am to them, because Patriots 7 has allergies so bad, and I have cats. So he can't stay there. Because if he walks into my house and stays more than 5 minutes, he's terrible. But if he can get on the bed, then my grandkids can start spending the night to me. And that's worth me, being around me more. That's worth me more than $1 million. And people say, hey, you're crazy. See, Myrna, bed so she can be here to help people. And that's what it is. And that's the kind of reactions and answers I was hoping for. Thank you, Myrna.
Got camping tonight.
Yes, one voice says, yes, health of the perk. Please God. But then let's look at it realistically. We've waited so long. Why can't we get them both at the same time? Think about it. We have a guy in our group, and Myrna, you know who I'm talking about. And many of you do, but I'm not going to mention his name because I don't want people to know. But we got a man in our group that needs these beds so bad, so bad. I was talking to a lady in our group, Cindy, the other night, and she needs them. We all need them in some form. We all need them. Myself personally, if I could just get on the first bed just to make myself feel a little bit better, I'd pass bed number 2 up. Would I like to get everything fixed? Oh, 100%. But we need to take care of the people that need to be taken care of the fastest. Now, since I'm 71 and with a degenerative heart condition, maybe I need to get on them. But it's just something we need. And I talked about the beds, and I'm explaining to the people in this video. I was watching a video the other day about the beds. And in the video, I watched a man laying in there. And he was in there for 6 minutes. And he gets out and he goes, how do you feel? He goes, I feel amazing. He says, I have no pain. He says, I feel like he says, I feel like I'm floating. I feel like I'm just, going and he says, I really, to be honest with you, I can't explain how great I really feel. And that was just in 6 minutes on the first bed. So how do you think this man is going to feel when he gets whatever he needs to get on bed number 2? How do you think he's going to feel when everything, not just his DNA and his vibrations and things like that are fixed, but how do you think he's going to feel like me with a degenerative heart condition? And I have to take no more medicines. How do you think he's going to feel when all of this happens and it's like, wow, I just have this feeling of total greatness. The people who are on death's door. Ron has a next door neighbor who has been in a nursing home now for 6 weeks. He cannot come home unless he has someone to give him 24-hour care. And he can't get it. That plus the fact his roof collapsed. He hasn't been able to do the work on it, and no one would help him. His roof has collapsed into his bathroom, so he has to have that fixed. But the bottom line is, how do you think this man is going to feel when he can get on this bed and he's going to walk out? He hasn't walked. He has to have help going to the bathroom both ways with tubes and stuff. It's just unbelievable. And he's going to be able to do this. People say, well, that's going to cost a lot of people their jobs. So what? There's going to be so many jobs out there for everything that's going to be done, but it's not going to be work. It's not going to be work like when Ron and me worked in the factory, making the batteries for the United States Navy's submarines. It's going to be work that if you come home, the wife might look at you and say, how was work today, honey? And you're going to say, I feel good. Do. It's going to be good. You're gonna work, but you're gonna have bosses that's got bosses, but they're not gonna be the kind of bosses. When I worked in the factory, we had this one guy, and he hurt his back. He didn't hurt his back no more than I'm black. I ain't kidding you guys. He didn't hurt his back no more than I am black. But every day after he hurt his back, he made them believe he hurt his back. Every day he's laying up in a locker room on a bench, 8 hours a day, getting paid the same as we're getting paid. Air-conditioned bathroom, he's laying. He'd bring a pillow in, he'd take a nap. He'd get up because he had to get up every so often, go to the bathroom or stretch, and then he'd back there. And finally, they got this wise idea. We're paying him. Let's make him a foreman. And they made him a foreman. And you know what? He never had a bit of trouble with his back the rest of his life. He was a foreman up there. But in a nutshell, he was a foreman in a way that, there's the name Richard. Richard, Richard. And Richard has a nickname. And I think you guys all know this, but I'm hoping the kids don't. And that's what he became. But see, nobody's going to be in pain. Everybody's going to be going. And when you take something, if you need to take something, 6,000 patents are going to be released. I mean, we are going to be living in a world of pain free. On that second bed, think about the person. And I'm going to mention Brett Herrick, a dear friend of mine and Ron's. Used to be my nephew's best friends. I think they still are great friends. But this is a young man that was a UPS driver, and he worked out and worked out. And I mean, he was in shape. He wasn't one of these gaudy, I got muscle here, I got muscle over muscle over muscle. He just he took pride in his body, and he worked hard. And one day he was going off of one road onto another, and he hit some loose gravel. And them UPS trucks are very, very light, very, very flimsy. And he turned it and rolled it and rolled it. The doctors told his family, an ordinary person such as me, I'd have been dead, which I don't believe it, because I've beat deaths 8 times already. But an ordinary person would have died. He didn't, but he lost his arm from here, right here, down. This is a man that's going to be able to get on there, and his arm will come back to him. He'll have his arm just like he always had. I know a little girl who had a bicycle accident, and she lost her heel on her foot. That's going to be able to come back. And if you don't get excited about the possibility, I have a cousin. When she was born, she was a preemie baby. She's 52 years old now. She gets along. She's never got to go to actual school. Her mom did homeschool her, and she's not stupid. She's just not as smart as she could be. But this is a sweet little girl. She is the smallest baby I have ever seen in my life. I was the best man for her mom and dad's wedding. And when I went in and seen her, I went home and I looked at my mom. I couldn't get her out of my head. My mom said, "How did she look?" And I said, "Mom, there's no way she can live. There's no way. There's no way a baby that," and she did. But it affected a lot of her organs, her brain and everything. This little girl is going to be able to get on these beds and finally be able to live normal. And if that doesn't excite you, I know another little girl who, and I'm not going to say who, but there is a special lady that used to come on our shows. As a matter of fact, at one point we named her the grandma of the shows. And she has a great granddaughter who has went through, I think, 18 or 19 surgeries. So much so that they're even talking about doing some things to her that I hope they don't. But she's going to be able to get on these beds. And I told her mom, I talked to her mom at the little monkey's birthday party this year. And I sat down and I made them listen. I hadn't been drinking much then, so I knew I wasn't drunk. And this grandmother, this great grandmother looked and said, "Listen to him. He knows what he's talking about." And I talked to the mom, and I talked to the dad and the little girl, and the smile that the little girl gave me when I told her, "When this happens, you're right at the top of my list to get on these beds. We're going to get you in there, and you're going to be the little girl that you deserve to be." She's in high school already, but yet she has braces on her legs. She's went through so many surgeries, and it's not fair. But you know what? God loves her as much as he loves anybody, and that's the main thing. And that's what these beds are going to be able to do. And then you can get into bed number 3, and Bill Woods, Janet, and Joshua. I don't know if I know you. Joshua, busier than a one-armed UPS guy. Okay. I hope that's a sincerity and not making fun of my friend, but for the people who's up in age a little bit, how'd you like to be back feeling like you're back 29, 30, 31 years old? I don't remember them years because I got married when I was 29, and I kind of feel like I went down to the thing where a lot of these people are going to go who's bad. No, back then that part of the marriage was pretty good still. It didn't happen till later. But no, guys, these beds, they're amazing. And someone looked at me the other day and said, well, about these beds, what do you think the future of them are? I said, you know what? I have no idea. I just know that when I listened to Jared Rand several years ago, and he told what they could do. It used to be you could only go back 10 years, maybe 15. Now, then it went to 20. Now it's 25. Now they're saying we can maybe go back 30. And we can do this 3 and 4 times. I really, one of my projects is to donate money to the people who's doing this. I want to also build centers with 1 or 2 beds in, just like a doctor's office. And my doctor is Dr. Jeffrey Long, and build a couple of rooms that's got these beds in them so the patients can come in and see him. After everybody's been on the beds, then every 6 months you go in just for a checkup. You get on bed number 1. If everything checks out fine, nothing has changed, hey, you're home free. What are you going to do? You're going to get a little boost. You're going to get a little boost. It's like, I'm not a coffee drinker, but people tell me they can't get going in the morning without their coffee. But you're going to get that little boost like the coffee, but it's going to be a good boost, a healthy boost. Some people can't get going without their cigarette, but that's not healthy. You're going to get a boost, and that's what I want to see. I want to have these centers all over the world. And if people think like I do and we build them, man, what a world we're going to live in. Are we going to aim for maybe heaven on earth and we never, what's the difference? Heaven on earth or passing away, you're in heaven already. Will our loved ones be able to come back? And I'm not saying that the ones we've lost. And since Myrna's on, and Myrna knows how much I care for her and my feelings for her, Myrna lost a loved one, her husband, just not long ago. Is he going to be able to come back and, maybe not stay here, heaven on earth, but at least make contact with her and talk to her and be there maybe a day, a month. I don't know. See, it's all speculation, but it's a speculation that gets me excited. And I think you can understand my excitement tonight. Judy Bidington today, she's talking about a lot of the things. She's talking about how this could be the end, that the movie could be ending. She's talking about, Bruce's call last night, and when Bruce made the statement and things like that, and just a lot of beautiful things, guys. I'm trying. If the way of the excitement I'm showing tonight, I'm not helping you guys build your vibrations. Tell me what I need to do to help you, because don't, if someone puts up something negative, if you want to reply, but don't let it get in your head. We have been in this too long, Bill Woods. We've been in it too long. Janet, would you agree that we got to stay positive? Correct, David Duffy, correct. That's okay, Russ. It'll be up. I tell you what, we can get it over to you, no problem. It's see, here's what I'm going to make an announcement, guys. Unless I specify differently, we will be doing 7 o'clock Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. Now, how long are we going to do it? Hey, I'm going to call a Bruce. Maybe tonight's our final call. Because, see, we have no idea. We have no idea what's going to happen. I don't think we're going to do what we're hoping to do this week. But we don't know. To me, being quiet is really good. And if you notice, I'm not using a lot of things from what's out there. I'm using things that we need to get back into. I'm went back, and for people who watch me from the very beginning, I've went back to where I'm happy, I'm talking, my hands are moving all over the place, I'm laughing, I'm smiling, because you know what? I want to bring up happy vibes. I want, when you guys get done watching this show tonight, you look and say, wow, the energy he brought to this show tonight was off the charts. And I want you to say, well, you know what? If he can do it, I can do it too. Right, Russ? Right, Papa G? Right, Carrie? David? Bill, boy, Gary, lots of people on. 104 people. Our views are down. I don't care. You know what I care is I care that when I finish the show tonight, that the people was on the show said, "Wow, that was a good show." Don't say it because you like me as a friend. Say it because you actually thought it was a good show. When I did that show today and I made a statement about the hat, somebody comes on and he makes the comment. He calls him by name, but I call him the hat. He said the hat is a crook. He's a liar. He's a cheater. And if you don't believe me, ask any person in New York. And my reply to him was, sir, everybody's entitled to their opinion. Now, I wanted to keep going and say, everybody's entitled to their opinion, but I'd be willing to bet you any amount of money that if I went to New York, I would find at least one person that wasn't thinking he was a crook. And you got to watch things. People are running scams. Be careful. Don't click on something unless you know for sure what you're clicking on. This is the one thing with our new president and our old president. You can call him both. The one thing that's disappointing me, because he was supposed to clean this stuff up, and he's not. Because to me, it's not as safe on the internet now. I mean, I've got hacked on Facebook, and not even hacked on Facebook, but now I'm getting these. Oh, you wouldn't believe what I'm getting. I'm not going to go into detail, but my goodness, the messages that I'm getting from these women, the things that they're saying, and I know in my heart who's doing it, but if that's the only way this guy can be happy, bring it on. They couldn't beat me before, and they can't beat me now because I have God on my side, and they're going to hell. That's the bottom line. But guys, I've talked enough. I think I've been excited enough, and we're starting to lose viewers. I need to go get some dinner for me and Ron, and I will be back Friday night, hopefully. Hopefully God lets me stay here long enough to come back, and we'll do another show, and we'll see what happens. And just keep your vibrations up. If you see something negative, just turn the cheek. And we've come too far to let negativity seep in and do something. With that, good night. God bless. And me and Ron loves you all.